It is 8 minutes after 11 o'clock again. You inside Brunch 107.7. I am Rennie Bishop. Good to have you with us this Sunday morning. There is a lot going on, and we are trying to see how many different spaces we can plug into. One of the biggest things happening today, of course, is semifinals of steel band Panorama. Of course, we have to reach out to Trinbago, and they have been gracious to send to us Byron. I'm going to let him do this. Byron Serrette. And the reason for that is I look at it and it looks like Brian. It is not Brian, it's Brian. Did I get it right this time?
Brian.
It is.
You got it right.
I got it right this time, Brian. Brian, you're the Vice President of Trinbago. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this busy Sunday morning for you.
Yes, pleasure to be here.
Yes, I realize you also walk with my pass. I will take that before you leave. So everybody is going in. After 50 years, the world is still enjoying the scintillating, pulsating music of the steel pan. After 50 years, folks are asking, before I get to the Savannah, have we moved forward? Is Pan moving forward? Or is what we see today a manifestation of all the success of Pan and as far as it will go?
Well, no, it's not as far as it will go.
Good.
Pan is moving forward, and there's a lot more for Pan to do. Panorama is just the manifestation of the music of the people on its own instrument, the instrument that we made. Mm-hmm. Various societies have the times when they come to a climax, and Trinidad's climax generally is Carnival. Mm-hmm. We have been lucky enough to produce our own instrument, and we celebrate our society at Carnival time on our own instrument, and that is what Panorama is. Mm-hmm. However, Pan is more than just a carnival instrument. Pan is a musical instrument.
Yes.
And we have a lot of places to go as a musical instrument.
The easiest thing we can do is to get you in here and talk about Panorama at the Savannah today. And I said, no, that's the easy part. Everybody know who's up there. Everybody know what's happening. But everybody did not pay attention to the symposium that was held last year and the direction that Trinbago took. I want to deal specifically in the area of the business of Pan. How much of an understanding is there by Pan leaders on the business of Pan? How much of that seminar was passed on to other leaders of steel bands is my question.
Okay, well, they were all invited. Not all of them, of course, came, but we continue to do the work and let them understand that our vision and our view is a global one. Mm-hmm. It's the nature of people that some would keep their vision low, some would keep their vision in the intermediate, some will keep it high. We have to continue to work with all steel bands and all steel band leaders and individuals, because individuals have their own visions too. Some people start to play and then they think that they want to be playing music around the world. Mm-hmm. So you have to afford them the opportunities for training and whatever, so that they can address the global market. So it's not just bands. The pan is an instrument. We have a family of instruments, and we have soloists and duets, like most other instruments. We have to make it valid for world music. How I see it, my personal view, is that the tenor pan would become the instrument of choice for learning of music internationally, for the simple reason that it is the first manifestation of the circle of fifths. Now, the circle of fifths is the basis for Western music that was produced by Pythagoras in 500 BC. Mm-hmm. And the first physical manifestation of the circle of fifths in the history of man is the pan. If you think about music, every other musical instrument is linear. You have the keyboards, you have guitars, you have wind instruments, whatever. Mm-hmm. The only time that you see the circle of fifths in one face in front of you is in the pan. And that is one of the things that we at Trinidadians don't really understand, the brilliance of the pan that we have produced, that we have given to the world. And really it is a gift to the world, because any country that produces anything, they don't produce it for themselves. They produce it as part of the tapestry that is the world. Mm-hmm. And we have produced the pan to give to the world. So when some people say that the world, this country, that country want to steal the pan, they don't want to steal the pan. The pan comes from Trinidad. That's a fact.
And now it's a world.
We must spread it throughout the world. Otherwise, if football had stayed in England, would we be having a World Cup today? Would the industry of football be what it is? we have to spread it to the
You
world.
represent the vision very well, Vice President Byron Serrette of Trinbago in the conversation. The reason I ask you about whether a number of panists and band leaders understand the business of pan, the other reason for this is if you're going to have folks coming in all the time, the love of it is one thing. There must be something coming back to them.
Yes.
And that is why I raise with you, if the leaders understand the business of pan so that they can make this something profitable for the panists. Speak to me about that.
And that is where we want to go. But excuse me, like everything else, there must be some people say in order to make money you have to spend money. Right. So there's a certain amount of funding that needs to be put into the development of the making of the instrument, into the development of musicians, into the development of teaching. It's an industry on its own, and we have to address all the various parts that addresses any other type of industry. And when that is done, then you will find the money beginning to come back. There are some people who make a living by pan, Bugsy Sharp, some of the soloists, individuals, some of the tuners, some of the arrangers, they make a living, but it must extend further than that.
A lot of the bands participating in Panorama, outside of the glory of being successful in Panorama, depend on the prizes that are offered here.
They do, and when you think of a steel band of 100 players, and if they win the first prize, they get $1 million. But that $1 million is shared not only among the players, but towards ensuring that the band goes to the competition.
You've
so
got the tuners, you've got the
arrangers, the drill masters. You have all that to do. So bands have to find ways and means to supplement. That is where sponsors come in sometimes. And bands do a lot of other stuff. Trinbago tries to provide other opportunities in things that we do, like Pan in the Countryside and other shows and concerts that we do during the year to encourage and develop the art form and how the steel bands have opportunity. Because if you have opportunity, then you can address anybody who might be willing to pay. We had a conversation recently with the Minister of Community Development, Culture and the Arts, and we had to indicate to her that she brought a metaphor of if you have a mango tree in your yard, you have a whole lot of mangoes, it ain't worth anything. And we had to say, well, listen, the mango may not be worth much in the yard because you have a whole lot of mangoes. It becomes valuable when you send it down the road where nobody has mangoes. So in the same token, we have to begin and put things in place to have our steel bands all over the world. There's a market for steel bands
What sort of percentage contribution, royalties, anything? It's an instrument. You cannot get royalties on an instrument. So when I saw the symposium, I said, oh, very interesting. We're getting all the innovations coming to us. We understand what people are doing. But what is Trinbago getting out of this, if anything, outside of the awareness of what technologically is happening and where the music is going? Is there such a thing as royalty that the body Trinbago collects?
Not yet. We try to.
You sound almost like the Minister of Finance. You've got a revised plan coming on